great show today. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Chargers GM Joe Ortiz, I have not met him. He knows Jim Harbaugh. He knows John Harbaugh very well. We're going to talk about their draft choices. Little Joe Alt, little trio of wide receivers. But I want to ask him about, like, Khalil Mack. I want to ask him about Bosa. Why would those guys look like what I thought they were going to look like all these years? Can he get it out of them? He, of course, brought them back. He's calling the shots out here in L.A. We also have questions, more questions for the AFC West. We will have Marcel Reese on the show. Speaking of AFC West, because he sent me the sweetest jersey. What an absolute stud. Love having him on the show. Honestly, I don't like to play faves, but he's one of my faves. And trending topics to make me look old with Jordan. We have a huge show. Marcel Reese is here. We have Joe Ortiz. We're going division by division. It's time for the offseason, so that's kind of what we're going to be doing. But I have Jordan with me here, our amazing. If you're ever seeing our tweets, the ones that go viral, it's all in his hands, his voice, his framing, his doing the most to get our show out there to the good people. Jordan, how are we doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. We didn't get to this yesterday, so I wanted to. So I was
no
like,
worries.
Let's start the effing show.
Yeah,
let's go. We got Melinda King watching at home. Let's do this thing. What do you got? What do you got for me?
So yeah, we're a day away from the full schedule release, but we got some sprinkle of good news with the Monday Night Football opener being announced. Aaron Rodgers will be returning to San Francisco.
Oh.
So a little redo of last year. Hopefully this time around it's more than 4 snaps. We're feeling hopeful.
Oh, who are you, Drew Bledsoe?
No, I'm just
That's a Drew joke.
So this leads us to our first in or out. Are the Jets the most slept-on team in the AFC? We in or out on that?
Okay, so am I in or out of that? I will say yes, because we have this recency bias, and I feel like Jets fans think it's going to happen, but outside of New York, people don't. If you look at the odds at FanDuel Sportsbook, this is kind of crazy. They got plus 1,400 odds to win the AFC. 7th best odds. It makes sense. You got the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bengals, but the Bengals are plus 700 by comparison, okay? Rodgers has the weapons. He's got Garrett. He's got Wilson. He's got Breeze. Do the Bengals deserve to have twice, like they have double worse odds than the Bengals? The health issues are the same. I feel like Aaron's got a revamped O-line. By the way, this O-line's going to have to do their thing. This game's kind of like a dirty trick, don't you think?
Yeah.
Let's see that again. So it's Brock Purdy up against Aaron Rodgers, famously, who got hurt 4 snaps in. I was at that game in New York. Now it's on the road, getting him away from the turf, which is probably nice. That's probably like a good thing for Aaron. Otherwise, he's facing a tough team that's a Super Bowl absolute favorite, and dirtily Leonard Floyd. Let's not forget who injured him last year, Monday Night Football, 4 snaps in. Leonard Floyd, who San Francisco low-key signed. That's like...
They kind of did him dirty there.
That's kind of dirty.
That's kind of like, I'm not going to lie, that's like pretty like a sneaky wink, like maybe, Yeah,
I think they're undervalued, but I think they've got one move left. I think the Jets got one more blockbuster move in them to go all in. We'll see. Okay, what else you got?
All right, so the next topic, Tyrion Arnold. We love him. We love him. He was great. Guest on the show.
A lion.
A lion. He said this on Friday. If my mom was a wide receiver, I'd jam her into the dirt, and she knows that. That is the most Dan Campbell kneecaps like mentality I've ever seen. But are we in or out on this kind of mentality from our rookie cornerback saying that he would jam his mom?
Do you think, would Melinda be happy to hear you say something
If I said that, I wouldn't get a foot off the podium before she called me. So I just...
But she'd say attaboy.
No, I think she'd be out. She'd be like, you would never... Yeah,
she loves Tyrion Arnold, doesn't she?
She does love Tyrion Arnold. So it's a conflicting thing. It's like... But I don't know. I'd be a little afraid of the wrath of Melinda. Yeah.
I will say I'm totally in on this, and I just wonder, like, was this a Mother's Day topic he was answering?
I think it was like, what are you doing?
Prompt?
Yeah, that's the thing. The question. Some of these questions sometimes.
Running my mom into the dirt. Like, what are we talking about? I like the mentality. I feel like there's a lot of like. He's exactly who I want. He's gonna have to put up. Do you think at some point, Tyrion, twice a year, you're taking on Justin Jefferson?
Yeah.
You're taking. Do you think DJ Moore is hearing that and loving that? Like, I don't know. Like, we'll see if his mom comes up between the lines come fall. We'll see.
All right. Next topic. Taylor Swift over the weekend.
God, I don't like not knowing these.
I know. Taylor Swift over the weekend. It was her 87th show of her Eras tour. Travis Kelce shows up in attendance. She's rocking Chiefs colors.
Oh, okay.
Is this a little too on the nose?
Is that red or orange? Could be Bengals. I'm just saying.
Is this a little too on the nose? Are we in or out on this whole, again, 87 show, I get it. It's his number. but like, are we in or out on this?
I think you never know how long things last. And I'm just saying, not them. God, calm down, world. But I'm just saying, like, Travis, I saw him at the Derby. He's living his absolute best, and he should, because tomorrow is not promised. So I think that you're showing Taylor. I'm less interested in that. I wish I knew this question was coming, because there was footage of. Did you see footage of Travis?
He was living his best life.
Travis was like, somehow she's on stage sweating, performing, doing her job, and he's there like kissing babies, shaking hands, like dapping all these 13-year-olds up, like doing like fingers to these women like at this show. And I was just like, live your. If it wasn't Travis, it would be so cringy.
Yeah.
But I know Travis, and he's living the dream, and so I'm actually okay with it. And I heard she did the Chief coming home to me thing.
Yeah.
And everyone went crazy, but he was like very positioned in a place. It was weird. Anyway, what else we got?
And so this is the last one.
They're wrapping us up.
I got a text from you this weekend about what this meant. I'm going to show the tweet about you being called. Now, I don't watch Kay Adams every day, but she has golden retriever vibes, even though she's a brunette.
So I texted you this because I just said translate Gen Z, translate this to me. And then you kind of did, but then I did my own research. And I saw this whole like black cat. Is that this? Have you heard this?
I have not heard this.
Oh, no. See, Marissa's probably back there. Like, I know what's going. There's a black cat versus golden retriever. It's like the mystique one you chase, the black cat, or the golden retriever, the one who like chases and shows. I am in no world a golden retriever. Everybody, I'm not chasing people. I'm not showing. That is the most aired tweet I have seen in a long time.
So we're out on that.
No, I'm a black cat. I'm definitely a black cat. Okay, these are the trending topics, yeah?
Yep. So
we're not going to get to manatees. Maybe another time. We got some Tyreek Hill in here that I see. We'll get to another time. Attending family members' graduation. You're out.
Yeah, I'm out. I mean, why do we put our family members through this? Like, these are such long ceremonies.
How long was it?
It was 3 hours, and it's like once that person's name is called.
Did you wear a tie?
I didn't wear a tie, but I wear a blazer, and it's hot, and it's like there's a lot going. I'm just out on the whole.
Who should have to go? Who should have to go?
I think
high school, college. Was it college?
It was college.
Okay, college graduation, big deal.
Big deal. There's like a.
Who should have to go?
I think like one parent has to go. That should be an assigned
So they're
rule.
doing paper, scissors, rock.
Yeah, it's like one parent has to go, and the rest is like waiting at the restaurant. They're having mimosas. Like they're making sure the table's set down for the post-graduation meal. That's what we got to do. But we can't have a whole family sitting there for 3 hours sweating.
You
and
hated it.
It was the worst. It really is.
Was it?
It was
like your second cousin?
It was my first cousin.
Your first cousin?
Yeah, I had to be there. It was like but it's like.
You're a family guy. You didn't have to be there. One parent, those are the rules.
I just think it's just take one parent. We do rock, paper, scissors, draw the short straw, and that's it. So.
You're the best. Thanks, Jordan. All right,
course.
Jordan's going to go cut up our video for social and do all the things he's always, tinkering down there doing. He was trying to have me do some voiceover today about, I want a man with finance. What is it, Jordan? Kat knows it. Looking for a man in finance. 6'4". Blue eye, literally the opposite of anything I'd ever look for. But anyway, it's time for unanswered questions. Oh, God, and here comes that freaking ping pong thing. We're going division by division. Joe Ortiz on the show, GM of the LA Chargers. Cannot wait to talk to him. I like his vibe. I like his energy. I like what he did with the salary cap, too. He should balance my checkbook. And we've got unanswered questions for the entire AFC West. Let's do this thing, and let's start with, which one should we start with? The odds. Here we go. If you're looking over at FanDuel Sportsbook, the Chiefs and everyone else is the story. KC heavy favorite at -230. Chargers are next at +350. They finished last this year, so that's not bad. They have the Raiders at +900. FanDuel Sportsbook. What do they know? Marcel Reese joining the show in a bit to talk about that. Broncos, the long shot at +2,000. +2,000? Champagne scoffing at that from Chileno Bay down there, hitting golf balls with Chandler Parsons today. Scoffing. We're going to start with Kansas City because they won the whole damn thing. Again, speaking of KC's, guys, did you see Kieran Culkin at the...
Get to the question.
No? Who's Met Gala outfit? You really can't talk about the Met Gala anymore. I'm not. I shouldn't even put Met Gala in my script. I know what Gen Z says about the Met Gala. My question for Kansas City is: are those Kush balls?
Kush balls.
What are we on? Rosie O'Donnell? Is this 1996? Am I in love with Tom Cruise? What are we doing? What is the weakness on the team? That is the question for Kansas City. And I hope Joe's not listening to this because, you're with the Ravens. and it happens with Kansas City. Now you're facing Kansas City twice a year as the GM of the Chargers. What is the hole we can poke in with this team? Turns out you can't. You want to bring up receivers in the wake of the Rashee Rice stuff? Okay, fine. Even if Rice never plays another down for KC, and he probably won't, I think they still have more talent than they did at the receiver spot now that they did a year ago with Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown in the mix. So you can't say diddly squat about the wide receivers. Okay, so they lose L'Jarius Sneed. That's got to hurt, right? That's gotta suck. No, they have Trent McDuffie, and replacing Sneed most likely will be Josh Williams, who's stepped up in huge spots before. So, I mean, he filled in before for an injured Sneed in 2022 in a big game, in a big spot, AFC title game. Yeah, he kind of pretty much, I remember that game because Jamar Chase and T. Higgins did not go off in that game because of him. And he had a massive pick with the game tied in the fourth quarter. So, are we going to doubt Veach all of a sudden? Yeah, remember this? Oh, why do we have to show it? Why are we showing it after the fact? What's happening right now? I don't need to see that. Thanks. Nope. You can't poke a hole in that. He's pretty great. He's probably going to fill in okay. I don't know. What are we questioning on this? Can you guys help me? At Up and Adam Show, what are we questioning? Travis, not focused, can't do that again. I can't even bring up, like, complacency. Like, they're just cruising because they're rallying around a three-peat so hard. It's not going understated. It's not like we made it whatever. They're not going to stumble. So what? It's not about like they're not going to get it wrong. So it's got to be one of these other three teams coming up and snatching it from them. Things have to break right for the other squads like the Chargers. All right, Chargers next. Just hit me with your I can't do these stupid jokes. Just hit,
What's the question about the Chargers, Kay?
What's your question about the Chargers, Eric?
The San Diego. I mean,
Okay.
are they just going to run the ball all the time? Who they got a wide receiver? What are we doing
Speaking
here?
of charge, let's see, my phone is, actually fully charged this morning. Okay, this is what Rosie O'Donnell used to do. I keep hitting the monitor. What is this one? What did you guys, like, go to a dollar store? May they rest in peace?
Party City.
You heard dollar stores are going out of business? Oh, now there's a thing on there. Okay, my question for the Chargers is, what is this offense actually going to look like? I have been in the lab trying to figure out how does Roman, with Herbert's arm, ipso facto, which way is the wind going, carry the one, what is the identity of this offense? I can't work it out. I can't wait to ask Joe Ortiz about it, joining us shortly. They add former Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins. They add Gus Edwards. Both value deals, by the way. Love those. All the talk is about the run game in L.A. And if you look at Greg Roman's history, of course it is. Top 5 rushing offenses everywhere he's been. He's only had one passing game that's ranked in the top half of the league in an entire decade as an OC with the Niners, with the Bills, and with the Ravens. It just makes me a little bit about what it means for Justin Herbert. Like, if I'm in Justin Herbert's camp, what does this mean for me? When you look at the previous offenses, a lot of them were structured on using the quarterback in the run game. You saw Cap with the Niners, Lamar with the Ravens. It's pretty clear we're not going to just, like, make Herbert run a lot, right? Like, we thought we'd do some digging. Hamilton really put this on my map. It's a bit of a heel turn because I was a little out on the Greg Roman of it all. I just didn't get it. But there is a thought, and we're going to take a look at how he fared with a couple of guys who threw it more from the pocket. And I'm talking about Tyrod Taylor, and I'm talking about Alex Smith. And if you kick it off with Alex here, he was almost on his way out of the league before Harbaugh and Roman got to San Francisco. He had a losing record, more interceptions than touchdowns. It was not pretty. Enter Greg Roman. All of a sudden, Alex wins 19 games in a year and a half, okay? The same number of wins it took him 6 whole seasons to rack up under previous regimes. 6, you guys. That's crazy. He throws 30 touchdowns to 10 picks. His passer rating shoots up by 23 points, and he leads the Niners to an NFC title game. So that's pretty bananas. If you look at Tyrod, his first 2 years as a starter with Roman, he thrived. 47 total touchdowns, 12 picks. He was a Pro Bowler. Nice little career since the 2 parted ways, sure. But he hasn't, come on, he has not touched these numbers that he had with Greg. Is Greg a quarterback whisperer that we just don't talk about? I don't know. Is he? Could he have that next gauge, that next level? I'm skeptical. I'm less skeptical now looking at the track records. Now I'm more skeptical turned intrigued because the truth is, as I talked about with the Bills and Josh Allen yesterday in the development with Brady and James Cook, having a balanced run game is the way to unlock the best for the team. And it probably will take Justin's game to another level, as it really has for nearly every quarterback that Greg Roman has gotten his paws on. Oh, there should have been a Kieran Culkin Roman.
Ooh, succession.
reference there.
Great
I guess
questions,
yeah,
Kay.
we're gonna
Great
hit the Broncos in a little bit. Marcel Reese is on the show. Then Joe Ortiz will join us. We're gonna talk about the Raiders a little bit later. Last time I saw Marcel, he said, "I don't know if I'm sold on Pierce yet." I don't know. Is he? No. We'll talk about it after this. My fave guy is back. Is Jordan in here? Jordan, want to do that? Can we slate and can we tweak lighting, please? I think like this, is there a reason Okay, my guy's back on the program. He likes to visit the Up and Adam show. He played 9 seasons in the league, 8 of those with the Raiders. Insanely athletic fullback who I cherished hubba on my fantasy team year in, year out. Last time this guy was on the show, he popped onto the screen with a cigar in his mouth, if I do recall. Marcel Reese, how are you?
I'm doing well, Kay. How are you? How's the crew?
Listen, let me just say, hey! This is so one of my most prized, like if I wear this somewhere, you know how cool I'll be? How often will I get hit on if I wear this on like a game day Sunday somewhere? Let's really think about that. Our Marcel Reese sign thing that says I'm the realist in the I would kill. I
mean every word, the realest in the game.
You're the best. Okay, you're one of my favorites, as you know. We're not going to we have a lot to talk about, you and I. We're doing the AFC West sort of deep dive and questions on the team and all of that. But first, we got to start with Food Network. What are you doing with Guy? What's happening here? We saw the new episode. What is it? Bonfire Craft Kitchen. Are you angling to take Guy's job? What is this?
That's funny. I haven't even seen that episode yet. But Guy is one of my best friends in the world. He calls himself my twin. What? And I'm sure everyone can see the resemblance, but that is my brother, and love him dearly. And we always have fun in the kitchen, cooking together for our families and visiting the shows.
All of my producers are like this. They're like, what? They're best friends. Like, how do you become best friends with Guy?
Well, for anyone who knows Guy, knows he is an original member of the Raider Nation, and They call me Mr. Raider, and the bond was instant, and our families enjoy each other. His sons are my godsons and my nephews, and I love them dearly, and Guy the same.
Can't wait to see the episode. I love that. You're besties with the guy. You filmed with the guy. Guys, check out that episode, even though Marcel hasn't seen it. It's Bonfire Craft Kitchen. Marissa dug up those stills, our producer, so that was great to see, and congrats on that. Let's get into some football here. Three-time Pro Bowler Jared Goff. Nice little contract yesterday. 4 years, $212 million, which is insane. I think 170 of that guaranteed. He's got the second largest contract per year in the entire league right now, right behind Joe Burrow. What comes to mind when you see Jared's name with this caliber of quarterbacks? What do you think?
You know what? It's interesting, Kay, because when you say you're talking about a guy that's absolutely earned it and worked hard to get it, and he's also the #1 overall pick, it's almost an oxymoron. But when you think about it, he had early success in his career. Most people say he fell off right after that, but then worked himself back up. He was thrown in the garbage and forgotten about, 3-4 years ago. And now you're looking at someone who has led the entire league in major statistical categories, whether it's red zone quarterback or deep passes. He absolutely turned around, led the charge and turned around a franchise that has been yearning for it for over 30 years. So extremely proud of a guy like Jared Goff.
It's so interesting to see. I saw all these tweets yesterday that were like, say what you want, the Lions value their players. They take care of their players. It's so funny because 10 years ago, that was not the image. So they've done such a good job culturally in changing things around where, Calvin Johnson himself, he comes on my show a lot too, and he'll say, I don't want to be there. Taylor Lewan comes on my show and says, the last place I would have wanted to go. Gronk said, if you try trading me to the Lions, I will retire. He said that famously to the Patriots, and this turnaround is so amazing. The turnaround for Goff is amazing too. I wonder who this year's Jared Goff is. Who's this year? I feel like Baker got himself into that world last year. He got paid. He turned it around. I wonder if it's Sam Darnold. I know it's hear me out. Addison, Justin Jefferson, Kevin O'Connell, high-flying offense. I know that division's better, but could Sam Darnold turn it around?
Absolutely. See, now you're speaking my language, Kay, because you're talking about a guy who's in the perfect position to do that. He has really good weapons around him, and he can take advantage of that by just simply getting him the ball, making the game easy, being smart about it, protecting the ball. And that's where Jared Goff started off. He started off protecting the football, bonding with his teammates, getting his playmakers the ball, and the rest becomes history.
I do want to ask you about one more quarterback before we hop over to yours, and Aiden O'Connell, who I think is your quarterback. I don't know. The Jared Goff contract, to me, I texted Hamilton, my producer, right away, and I said, all this sort of shows me is, well, I don't know why never mind. I want to ask you, hold on, let's get rid of this footage. Hold on, we'll get to Aiden O'Connell. I want to ask you about Jordan Love, because that's what I texted Hamilton when I saw the Jared Goff deal come on. I said, what does this mean for Jordan Love? Such a small sample size, 7-8 games. What do you do? Should he get paid more than Jared?
Well, see, that's the biggest question, because when you look at all these teams this year, all the quarterbacks are off the board. So now Jordan Love has all the leverage where if he starts off this season the way he should start the season, the way he ended the season last year, playing at a high level, protecting the football, throwing the ball extremely accurate, then he's going to get paid more than Goff. Oof. And when it comes down to these major contracts, it's all about timing.
Yeah.
All about timing.
Yeah, it's like a who's next mentality. They set the market. And all the quarterbacks love that too, because it just keeps going up. I don't know that I don't think that Jared Goff would want him to get paid less than him. You keep wanting to drive the price up with the salary cap. Okay, let's talk about the Raiders. Coach Antonio Pierce has said, as we have awesome footage here of Aiden O'Connell to show you, he earned the right to take the first snap of the season in front of Gardner Minshew, who is a Pro Bowler. And we're talking about camp here, not week one. Based on what you know about Aiden and what you might know about Gardner, what do you make of the decision?
I think it's not so much about Aiden and Gardner, but more so about Antonio Pierce and the culture that he is trying to implement in that locker room. Meaning, it's not about how much money you make. It's not about what you've done in the past. What are you going to do here? Can you show me the work? And Gardner Minshew hasn't put on that silver helmet yet, and that's something that you always have to earn. Whereas Aiden O'Connell was put in a situation where he had to step up to the plate start on a team as a rookie and make plays for that team. And that's a hard job that's a hard thing to do. So what Antonio Pierce is doing for that locker room is saying, show me that you can make a play. Show me that you're going to do what's necessary in this silver and black uniform, and I'm going to give you opportunity to keep your spot and earn your spot.
He has one of the best receivers to throw to. You know,
the best receiver to throw to.
PFF has this quarterback room as like the worst ranked quarterback room by the numbers. You know, like a smidge above where the Broncos are sitting with their quarterback room. But then I think about it and I go, Davante Adams isn't on the Broncos. Like Davante Adams, he's there. He is the best. I love that you corrected me. He's the best wide receiver. Underutilized, lowest yardage total since 2019 when he only played 12 games that year. So I don't know, with that whole situation, how much faith do you have to sort of turn this around and make Davante happy, which I do think matters right now?
It absolutely matters. You're talking about not just the best all-around wide receiver in the National Football League, but you're talking about the best player in your locker room. That is someone that can. Davante Adams is one of those guys who we call the ultimate eraser. The Tom Brady's, the Gronks of the world, the Davante Adams, the Tony Gonzalez's of the world, the Travis Kelce's, and the Patrick Mahomes. They cover up a lot of your deficiencies that you have on your team by simply being great. So when you talk about a guy like Davante Adams and your offensive coordinator, you got to get him in positions to open him up and be successful. And what that means for Davante Adams is get him the ball. Just get him the ball. And if Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, whoever is throwing the ball understands that, then you're going to have some success on the offensive side of football.
Do you wish Michael Penix was throwing Davante the ball?
You have no idea
your face
how bad
me.
I wanted that.
Well,
you have no idea how bad I wanted that. Atlanta made a fantastic choice of taking Michael Penix Jr. with the number 8 pick. He is going to be a fantastic leader for years and years to come, and a phenomenal quarterback. I have an unbelievable amount of confidence in that choice, no matter who he was throwing the ball to.
They didn't trade up. They could have. He's sitting behind Kirk. Warren Moon at the Derby told me he loved the move too. He thinks it's perfect, and he'll sit a little bit. He'll develop there. But if I saw Davante Adams recently, and I just look at him, and he's like, it's hard to not have him be your favorite player. You know, it's really hard to not root for him, and you want to see the ring. You want to see the shot for the ring. So, you know, getting Michael Penix, that would make him happy. Does it matter if he's happy? Like, I guess what I'm really asking you, like, is he 100% playing for them this year? Is he a tradable piece? Is there going to be disgruntlement around Davante Adams potentially?
No, Davante Adams is a team player as well. BK, when you say happy, I know exactly what you mean, but I know some viewers may think that happy to Davante is just simply getting him the ball. What makes Davante Adams happy is winning. Raiders have to find a way to win football games. And it just so happens that getting him the ball is the common denominator of winning football games. And I think they can manufacture ways to get him the ball, whether it's, you know, Michael Penix or Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew. No matter whom's throwing in the ball, Davante Adams is going to make himself open, especially with the help that they got in the first pick with Brock Bowers being a threat as well. Just get him the ball and find ways to win football games, and Davante is going to be plenty happy.
This is you talking to AP, basically, because last time I talked to you, there's a quote, and it was a really eloquent quote. We were talking about the candidates and, like, who could lead this team, and you said, let me find the exact quote. You said you have to find a Raider. There's 31 teams in this league, and then there's the Raiders. Is Antonio Pierce a Raider, and what was that moment for you, if yes?
Antonio Pierce is a Raider. Antonio Pierce is a guy that stems. He has Raider in his blood. It's just being a Raider is not something that you learn how to do. Being a Raider is not something that you necessarily grow into. Being a Raider is something that is in you, and you have to bring it out. And Antonio Pierce is a Raider.
Full NFL schedule comes out tomorrow. Last one for you, Marcel. We know there's a Raider game away game at the Saints, I believe. The first time Derek Carr faces his old team. You played with him. You know he runs emotional, heart on his sleeve kind of player. What is this game going to mean to Derek Carr?
That game is going to be everything to DC. And mark my words now, and the reel will be up. Derek Carr, the entire week, is going to say that it's just another game to him. It's just another game to him. And he's not going to say anything else.
Why do y'all lie? Why do y'all lie? Why?
Well, because you don't want to get too emotional before the game. But once that game starts, you are going to see DC hollering and screaming and getting his team up. And that's going to be a fun game to watch because Devontae Adams is going to be up for that game too. And you know they're best friends, and they both are going to want bragging rights for that game. So that's going to be a fun game to watch.
And that's going to be at the home of the Super Bowl.
It is.
At some point this season. I wonder, I kind of want that to be like a Christmas or Thanksgiving. That deserves a moment, I think, that game. I hope it's a big one.
What if that game is a Super Bowl preview?
You're insane. Marcel, you say, maybe you and I should go to this game. How about that?
Let's see.
Marcel?
I sent out that offer for the national championship and the Pac-12 championship, and you flaked on me.
But listen, that wasn't, where was that?
That was in Vegas at my stadium.
Vegas is great. Loved it, but I spent too much time in Vegas this last year. I have not been to New Orleans since the Harbaugh Bowl. I have not been to New Orleans since Beyonce made, that happened at that Super Bowl. So I will go to New Orleans with you.
Okay,
let's
so
talk
we're saying it right
release.
now. We are meeting in New Orleans, and the first po' boy's on me.
Perfect. And the first person to put Cam Jordan in a headlock wins. All right. We love you, Marcel Reese. Appreciate you for everything that you bring to the table, all of the analysis, and the jersey. You bought presents. Hey, Joe Ortiz, what'd you bring me? The GM of the Chargers is here. I got presents from the Raiders. How about the Chargers? We're talking AFC West after this with my man, Joe, just freeing up the salary cap out west. Let's go. I need Joe to look at my budget, Hamilton, you know? I feel like Joe could be really helpful in moving decimal points around. Yes, I just talked to him about the Super Bowl being in New Orleans. Hamilton, is there a joke being played on me today?
Dude.
I want you to rewind and watch that clip.
Yeah, as far as...
Like, the Super Bowl, he literally said, is it a Super Bowl preview? Marcel literally said that.
I know.
That'll be a good game. What other good rebound? I think DJ Moore up against Panthers will be good. Honestly, Joe's got a Baltimore game on his schedule. We'll talk to him in a couple minutes here, right?
Yeah, that's going to be the big one.
They got the Ravens. Oh, snap. That'll be fun to ask.
A lot with that one. Rematch for Joe and rematch for the Harbaugh brothers too. So there's going to be a lot of emotions in that one.
That'll be the first time they face each other, yeah? Since that game.
Yep.
Because Jim was in the league for a couple more seasons, but they never played each other.
Yeah. Yeah, Jim was at Michigan before he got the chance to get another shot at John. So that's going to be a big one. And J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards.
Yeah, the whole crew. I wonder if I wonder if Joe understands how much I want to be friends with Jim. How I've crowned Jim like the coach that I'm.
Can we do a show from the RV? Maybe that's the way to do it.
I don't even want that. That's asking too much. I'm not trying to be greedy. I just want like Jim to just talk to me for a while. I just love every sound bite. It's appointment viewing.
It's so good.
People want to watch the roast for 3 hours, fine. Enjoy Brady, enjoy Andrew Schultz, whatever. I want to listen to Jim just speak about nothing and everything. Okay, I'm excited about this. I mean, he's in our backyard. You're coming out to LA soon, aren't you, Hams?
Yeah, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'll be living in a van down by the river. It'll be great.
That's a whole others.
For who? For Kevin O'Connell? Okay. I think we get to talk to Kevin O'Connell. I think they're pushing it back, so I don't have to do it.
Okay.
This interview, we literally rented out a room at the Beverly Hills Library to do this. It's a long story. It's quite a day. Quite a day. Control room, do we feel good about Joe Ortiz? We feel good? Great, love it. Let's do it. Thanks, Hammy. I'm scared it's going to stick, and then oh, yeah, now it's stuck there. Now there's 2 of them. Okay, it's fine. Next guest spent the last, I believe, 26 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens organization. He won 2 Super Bowls, director of player personnel for the Ravens for the last 5 years, and he is now the GM. Oh, yeah. He's the guy calling the shots for one of my favorite teams, the LA Chargers. Joe Ortiz, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Likewise. I'm doing good. Appreciate you guys having me on. Excited to be here.
You liking LA? What are the vibes?
It's pretty good. I know it's a little cloudy today looking out the window, but the view doesn't suck looking outside. I mean, it's a beautiful day every day. The weather's great. We just had our rookie mini camp this past weekend, and talk about perfect weather. And
oh yeah,
guys were out having a great time.
Joe, are you allowed in the RV? Is the RV still around?
I have not been in Jim's RV. I've been in Greg's RV, and from my understanding is I went into the better RV. Definitely. But Jim will tell you that, like, he's given tours. FaceTime tours, he'd leave his RV and come over to Greg's, knock on the door to show people Greg's RV. So Greg's RV was the elite. It made me, I actually had RV envy after being in Greg's RV. I thought about getting one. So
who is Jim taking on FaceTime tours of his RV? That's the most that's the most dad thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, well, I think when he's talking to like family back home, when they first got there, he's like, "Oh, I got to show you Greg's RV," and comes over knocking on Greg's door. Let me show him, And so it's great. It's great.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about what got you into this position, because over 2 decades of NFL drafts in Baltimore, and you get to hang out with Ozzie Newsome and make these decisions with Eric DaCosta. I wanted to sort of ask you, out of all of that, kind of what was the most rewarding pick moment? What's like the name that when you were in this meeting to get this GM gig that you wanted to make sure they knew that you had your paws all over?
I think the process, Kay, it's not a specific player. It's the process that we had in Baltimore, and began with Ozzie, continued under Eric, led by Steve Bisciotti, and it just us all working together with the coaching staff there, the chemistry between coaching and scouting in Baltimore. That's what I wanted to sell that I'd bring here, and I think we've been able to do that with Jim. And John Spanos has been great working with both of them throughout the free agency and the draft. So excited what we've accomplished so far, and looking forward to what we do going forward.
Oh, Joe, you could give me one name. Come on, Joe.
I love them all.
Ronnie.
I love Ronnie. I love
CJ.
I love Marlon. You can name them. You can name them. But here's the thing. We did it together in Baltimore, and we're doing it together here. And it's not one man's opinion on a player. It's not one person driving it. It is a group. Ozzie was a great leader. Eric's a great leader, and they're collaborative, and they bring everyone together. And I'm trying to duplicate that here.
And you are. And even just in a short period of time, these moves you make. I mean, of course, I love Keenan and Mike, but then you see what you do, and you bring in this trio of receivers, and you're building this team as the team that you guys as a group want to build. And Jim, and it's not just from this process or via proxy and osmosis from John. Like, talk to me about 1998, Joe. Talk to me about, the Ravens quarterback was Jim. You were there. What do you remember about him?
So my first year, he was our starting quarterback. And a couple things I remember. One, they'd warm up, practice, and I'd go catch some balls for him as a 22-year-old kid. And back then they wouldn't give you gloves to wear, and so they'd be ripping balls at you, and you catching it, your hands are stinging at the end. Him and Eric Zier would throw, and I'd be catching one of their balls and throwing it, passing it to Jim. He'd throw it back to Z. And but then the first time I kind of interacted with them for an extended period was on the racquetball court. They pulled me in on a Friday to play cutthroat.
What?
And I thought, I thought I was going in there to show 2 pro athletes that this young 22-year-old can hang with elite athletes. And I went in with all the confidence in the world and got whipped. They were just throwing me out of the way. I was there as a timeout break. When they needed a break, they'd put me on the service line and let me get a couple points and then get me off. So, and then they'd be back up, serving. So they demolished me. But I tried, I competed, but I just didn't get the results I wanted. The
life of a personnel assistant back in 1998. Have you guys had a catch since being in LA?
I have not played catch with Jim yet. I might have to do it. I'll, run a few top of the route things. the 22-year-old athlete's a lot different than the 48-year-old, man I am now. So like, I'll just do the top of the route. I won't run the full route.
I mean, yeah, you've been busy crushing the draft, so you haven't had time to have a catch. Okay, so Greg Roman, he comes from Baltimore as the OC. Fifth overall pick, you take Joe Alt, who I love. What a cornerstone, amazing. I have been really trying to figure out, like, what are the Chargers on offense this year? Because you got Roman, run game maestro. You got the arm of Herbert, though. Like, if you could just describe in your world, because I've read everything that you've said. I saw you on McAfee. I saw all the things. What is the identity of this offense?
We're gonna be tough, physical, and balanced. I mean, like we're going to throw the ball, but we're going to develop a running game. Greg is, like you said, he's a run game maestro. He is a wizard, and he's so creative and what he can do and the different looks he can give you and the different schemes he can attack. But he also, his pass game plays so well off it. And I think Justin's really going to flourish in it, and having the offensive line, beefing it up. I mean, that's critical for us. And just, you want to be as physical as you can up front, control the line of scrimmage. And it's going to open up both sides or both aspects of the ball, running game and the passing game. So, but we will be tough and physical. I can promise you that.
I feel like people think Greg Roman and they just have that run game wizard label.
Yeah.
Is there more to him? Because he played I would ask this, because I'm looking at it from like Justin Herbert's vantage point, his lens. What role did Greg play, as you know so well, being there with him in Baltimore? What role did he play in Lamar Jackson's success?
Oh, I think, he put Lamar in position to succeed from the jump. And if you look at, he was involved when we transitioned in 18 to Lamar from Joe when Joe got injured. And he put Lamar in positions to succeed early on. He helped, and then he became our offensive coordinator and used his strengths early on and developed him as a passer. And it was our whole staff doing it as well. But, you marry up the strengths of each individual quarterback, what they do well in the pass game, and you put them in positions to succeed. So Greg certainly knows the run game, but he knows how to marry the pass game up with the run game. And I promise you, Justin's going to be chucking it around here and having success as a passer.
Yeah, we did some research. He's really done a great job of getting the best out of the quarterback he has. I'm talking about Alex Smith, what he did with Tyrod Taylor even, in sort of freeing them up. And balanced is good. I'm into balanced.
Yeah.
I'm excited about what's going on here. There's a bit of a void. You get rid of Keenan and Mike. It makes sense. You draft 3 wide receivers, and you add DJ Chark, a favorite of mine, to the mix. I'm so curious about your strategy, since you don't want to talk about specific players, and I understand. You had this chance to take one of the top wide receivers. You didn't. I'm so curious, in your evaluation of Quentin Johnston, like, how much did that factor into your strategy in building the wide receiver room?
Yeah, Quentin was a player that we liked in Baltimore as well. Last year, a player that I liked. And the one thing you look at him when he was coming out of college, he was an elite size, speed athlete, and you saw some rawness to his game, but you also saw the ability for as big as he is, he's 6'3", I think, and 220 pounds. Like, you watch him drop his weight, come in and get in and out of breaks, come to balance at the top of the route and get out quickly. He can do some rare things for a player his size. And Jim was on the other sideline, in one of his better games in college. And so we've all seen it, and we believe in it. And he's a great kid, and he's a great worker, and everyone here has high opinion of him. And I believe he's really going to launch. I really do. And his skill set is great, and we're going to work with him and make him better and better. And so you got a talent like him, and then you certainly a chance to add Joe Alt at the 5th pick was just the best. Like I said, best player. And he improves us from day one. And and then you stack Ladd and Brendan and Cornelius.
You look pretty happy about it.
Yeah, a couple free agents after the draft. So we got a really good competitive room. Adding DJ is going to be huge, and so it's a really good room right now.
Is Quentin a wide receiver 1, and how did it make you more comfortable taking Joe Alt because of what you have in Quentin? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Quentin has to. It's up to Quentin what he becomes. And we're gonna push him and work with him and develop him. But I'm not going to anoint Quentin as anything. Quentin's going to develop and show what he is to the league and to everyone out there. But I believe his work ethic and his talent, he's got a high ceiling for sure.
On the defensive side of the ball, always a question. I feel like, and I'm a Chicago girl, I love Khalil Mack, I love that, Joey Bosa, I support this Chargers team. It's like these, this incredible blockbuster movie, and you're like, why didn't this break the box office? Why didn't this work? You could have moved on from them for a million reasons. Why not?
They're talented players. I'm from Baltimore, so, we believe in defense out there, and I believe in it here. And I think a strong defense helps the quarterback. People are like, what are you going to do to help Herbert? I'm going to get the ball back to Herbert. I'm going to try to make this defense as great as we can, and we're going to get the ball back to Herbert over and over. So they're just both highly talented players. And in the end, the situation we came into, we couldn't keep all four. And you just worked with each of them and their agents, and I appreciate all four of the players and the agents working with us and open lines of communication. And in the end, we just had to make the best decisions for the Chargers, and we're fired up to keep both those guys.
Yeah, you brought them back on restructured contracts. I cannot wait to see it all come together. Sounds like you're really giving confidence to the coaching on the defensive side of the ball to be able to let them operate the way that we know that they can and hope that they do. Schedule releases tomorrow. It's like Christmas for NFL fans. You spent 26 seasons with the Ravens. They're on the Chargers schedule. I'm sure you know that. How much thought are you giving that game?
It's a game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, but it's a game. It's the two brothers going against each other again. It's me and all my brothers back there in Baltimore, and it'll be fun. I'm glad it's in our stadium. It'd probably be hard to go back there. It'd probably be more emotional to go back there. So it's great that the first time's here in LA. But I'll be looking forward to that game and seeing all the guys, and it'll be different. It'll be playing against family, and which I've never done. They were my family for 26 years, so it'll be fun, and but I'll be amped up for it, and I'm sure I'll be very excited for it, but I'm looking forward to it.
How often do you think Jim's thought about that Super Bowl loss to John?
I think I think he's proud. We've talked about it. It was an unbelievable, unique moment. Two brothers going against each other.
Crazy.
And just I think he's proud to have been in it, and certainly I know he wanted to win that game, and I'm going to do everything I can on my side to help him win those games, So, but it was awesome. It was a neat experience. We played him on Thanksgiving, I think the first time we played him, and then to play him in Super Bowl, both big, unique games, and we'll do it again. Who knows when it'll be, but it'll be a big moment for the family.
Come on, we know it's got to be a holiday. That's the brothers storyline. It's got to be. I don't know.
Christmas. I don't want to suggest anything because people think I have inside information, which I have none. So I don't know when it'll be. I know it'll be a big game.
It's got Hallmark movie written all over it. It's getting. We're getting the Thanksgiving night treatment. I mean, Super Bowl. I cannot believe the last time they faced each other was Super Bowl 47. It's an unbelievable moment that we get to relive. And I mean, yeah. I just can't wait to see it. One last one for you, because I just like the brilliant mind of a GM, and I'm just getting to know you. I have to ask about Justin Herbert specifically. Yeah. What doesn't get talked about enough with him from an evaluation standpoint?
Oh, man. I mean, everyone talks about his talent, his arm strength, his size, everything, his athleticism, but he's just such a good dude. Like, I mean, I've been around him now for 3 months, always smiling, like just wants to win, just wants to be the best he can be. He's out here working every day. He's not an upfront guy. He's not an outward guy. I think in the media, he's probably a unicorn for you guys. I don't know if he does many media stuff.
No, but I love him for that. People don't think that works. That sort of what people want to say is introversion. I think it works. I think it works for him.
Yeah, it does. But he really is a special guy, and it's fun to watch him out there leading and competing every day out here during the OTAs. So, but that's probably what people don't know, just the guy, just a special guy.
Good. I want to hear leader, because he's got these young cats coming in here. He's got to make a bond with these rookies.
He is, and he's fun to, he leads, one, just through his actions, his effort, and then what he does, and he's going to put the ball in the right spot every time. And, we had a player in here, Bud Dupree. Him the day he visited, we're looking out the window. He's like, man, the receivers just need to run the right route. The ball's going to be on the money. So he's special that way.
I love that you're adding Bud to bolster this defense. Let's go. I mean,
Why not, right?
I mean, you came to some might call it masochism. You came to a place to take Mahomes on twice a year instead of at least twice a year. But you're up for the challenge, Joe. Let's go.
No, I'm fired up. We're excited. They're a great team, and we got to match them. So that's what we're going to try to do.
Lovely to meet you, Joe Ortiz. Hope you're enjoying LA. Get yourself an RV. Do the whole thing. Go to Malibu. If you need any LA recommendations, hit me up. And congratulations on all the success so far.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Now, Jim, Greg, go do your thing.
Yeah.
It's on you. You get to kick back. You should go to Bora Bora for a couple weeks, come back, and it's week 1. All right, we'll be back right here. Big thanks to the Chargers, to Joe Ortiz, Marcel Reese, of course, talking Raiders side of things. We're going to continue. Maybe we'll talk a little Broncos. What do I make of this quarterback room with my friend Bo Nix? What a delight. I love meeting him. That's a guy I feel like I could talk to. I could, if I could walk in and have an honest conversation with. I'm a player.
Yeah.
I like hearing direct
he was awesome
and honest. I love that. Because there's some weaselly things happening sometimes. He's not that guy.
Oh, for sure.
I could tell.
And I thought the Quentin Johnson answer was especially genuine. I really did think he was being genuine there when talking about his talent and what they see in him and the ability there.
No, but he's like, he's got to do it.
Yeah. And also that on top of it. Yeah. That's why I think it was genuine.
That part of the answer I like the best. I said, is he a wide receiver 1? And he goes, like, basically, if he does what he's, supposed to do.
Yeah.
But that was a point that Hamilton had made in the morning, like with the taking Alt over a top wideout. You had to feel good about what you have in Quentin. You have to feel good about what you have in Quentin to get rid of Keenan and Mike.
Yeah, that's true. And I think in this receiver draft class, knowing that, 6'4", just freak athlete.
I can't think of his moment last year.
The moments that stick out are not great. Like, there were a couple of big drops that people pointed to. It was a shaky rookie year, but we've seen other receivers have shaky rookie years and turn into stars. So
he said Greg Roman's creative. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
I can't wait.
And I think,
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can you do a hammer time on Greg Roman? Like,
sure.
Not a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks when you're really great at one thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, Kate Hudson's like, I can sing too. Like, now she's singing.
And it's interesting because he kind of got, he when he was in San Francisco, he thought it was going to be Alex Smith the whole time. Alex Smith gets hurt. They have Kaepernick, and he kind of restructures things to make the best of Kaepernick. And with the Ravens, it was Flacco.
Yeah.
They go to Lamar, and he reinvents the offense for Lamar. So
you and I have talked about Greg Roman more than we've talked about anything these past 3 months.
It's true. It's so fascinating.
Great. We love it. Yeah, kind of. The entire schedule release is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network and ESPN2. They crush this coverage. I will be here in the morning to break down every single detail. Maybe we'll get some great guests. Our bookers are all over it and trying to get it done. All right, big thanks to half of the AFC West. We talked a little Chargers, talked a little Raiders, Joe Ortiz, Marcel Reese. But now let's dig into my question for the Raiders. Let's go to Vegas. By the way, did you hear about this? This is the real story. The scorpion infestation happening?
Oh, I heard about the one in your pool, but get to the question.
There was one in my pool. That scorpion's been in my pool more times than I have. No, I'm not kidding. The scorpions are invading like the suburbs. Ooh. It's like a M. Night Shyamalan movie. Okay, my question for the Raiders. What is the long-term play at quarterback? You heard Marcel Reese ask him a lot of questions about it. They signed Minshew. He's saying he's not ready. He doesn't have he doesn't have the I guess, like, equity, like the experience to do it. I don't know. Is he going to be this, bridge if they want to draft somebody later? Is it Aiden? I don't know. They didn't draft anyone. They didn't do this. And Antonio Pierce said that last year's 4th-round pick, Aiden O'Connell, has earned the right to get the first snap during OTA. So I'm a little confused. It doesn't mean it can't work, though. But it is the question. Whoever wins the job has some serious talent to throw to. Devontae, Jacoby, they don't get talked about enough as a duo. They combined for just under 2,000 yards and 19 touchdowns last year. And now you add Georgia star Brock Bowers to the mix. Loaded group of pass catchers. And Brock Bowers, versatile AF. He can do it all. Their top 10 defense. They add the guy who used to steal the towels. I don't think he does. Does he? I don't know. Christian Wilkins. He's there now, too. So it's taken shape. Max Crosby wants a ring. He wants it all. So the most critical position is the most important position. That's just what it is. Is it the worst team in the NFL because it maybe has the worst quarterback in the NFL, or at least the least proven? I don't know. I guess it's between them and the Broncos to figure it out. If they do figure it out, I'd love to see a playoff spot for them this year. All right, Denver Broncos. Let's do this. Here's a question. Simply, can Sean Payton be enough of a factor to keep this team in playoff contention? There's a lot of holes. Is he the Flex Seal that can, hold them all together and not let everything fall apart? That's it. Outside of Cortland Sutton and Patrick Surtain, there's not a lot of household names on this roster right now. They were hamstrung by Russell Wilson and this dead money. They've been hamstrung in recent drafts because of the picks they traded for him. If this were any other team with any other coach, this is a transition year. This is let's just not even talk about him. I don't know. But I'd be likening them to Arizona, I feel like. But this is not any other team. This is not any other coach. This is a Sean Payton team, a team that just found a way to get into the playoff picture just right there after a 1-5 and historical collapse on defense in the mix of it to Miami, where we wrote them off and they worked their butts off. I don't know. They don't have a lot of household names. They don't. Listen, it's hard for me to sit here in May and tell you they're going to be in the playoffs, that every team can make it to the playoffs. But every team in Sean Payton's 16-year career has won at least 7 games and been in the mix down the stretch. So I would be shocked if they don't at least make it interesting. And I don't care what the roster looks like. Bo Nix, if he has it a little bit, if he just Bo Nix, just listen to coach. Let's just listen to coach and just watch out, because I've seen this movie before. Any other coach, I'm not buying. Sean Payton, check please. Let's go. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with God knows who doing God knows what.